If there's one thing I can suggest that will completely change your body composition, it's making sure you're getting enough protein in your meals. High protein dinners keep you satisfied, help with muscle growth and recovery, and can help a lot to prevent late night snacking too. Now look, as someone who trains regularly and lives a busy lifestyle, I get it. After a long day, I often don't have the time or energy to cook from scratch every night, and that is why I live by meals like the 3 I'm going to share with you that are simple, satisfying, and easy to prep ahead so I can hit my protein goal even on the busiest days. First up, we're making an absolute classic comfort food in our house, turkey chili con carne. Since the sweet potato fries are going to take longer to cook, we're going to prepare them first. How have I made this much mess already? When I'm meal prepping, I often like to cook the things that are going to take the longest first, so that's usually things like the carbs, so potatoes, rice. Sometimes if you're roasting meat in the oven, that can take a long time too, or if you're using a slow cooker, you just chuck everything in. But in general, that's one of the biggest tips I'd say to make your meal prep session most efficient. A really cool fact that a lot of people don't know is that when you cook starchy foods like sweet potatoes or just regular potatoes and rice, and then cool them down, some of the starch changes into something called resistant starch, and this type of starch is harder for the body to break down, so it acts more like fiber and is better for your gut health. Resistant starch is what we call a prebiotic, meaning it provides food for the good bacteria in your intestines, which helps keep your digestive system healthy and can reduce bloating. It can also help you feel fuller for longer and give you steadier energy because it slows down how quickly sugar enters your bloodstream. So all that to say, cooling and reheating starchy foods like rice and sweet potatoes, just like we're doing in our meal prep, can give you some extra health benefits while still tasting just as good. I tossed the sweet potato fries in some salt, pepper, garlic, and just a little bit of olive oil, and then pop them in the air fryer at 180 degrees C for just under 40 minutes. One of the best investments I think I ever made was a rice cooker, so if you don't have one, then I'd recommend, because you can just put the rice in, pop it on, then forget about it, and it turns itself off when it's done. I used to be so bad at chopping onions, but my friend showed me the best hack to get like the smallest, the cutest little onion cubes. It's one of those things that I feel like when you know how to do it, it makes you look like you know what you're doing. So first obviously you peel your onion and then you turn it on its side and chop along the grains, if that's what you call them, but not all the way to the top. Then all you do is turn it over and do the same thing, then rotate it and chop along the bits that you cut, and out comes the little onion gems. I do think that's a really weird way to describe onions, but just look at how neat they are. Give it a go, you'll thank me later. Getting started on the chili con carne, you're going to add your onions to a pan with a little bit of oil, and then I added some frozen garlic as well. This is already pre-minced, so I don't need to chop it or anything, which is really convenient. And garlic and onions actually do more than just add flavor to meals. They've got lots of health benefits too, because both contain antioxidants, which help protect your body's cells and support your immune system. Garlic may even support heart health and can help fight harmful bacteria in your body, because it also contains compounds linked to reducing inflammation. So you're going to cook them together on a medium heat until the onions are soft. Kidney beans have entered the chat. Most people think that beans are a source of protein, which they are, but technically they're primarily a carb source. So although we're getting a good amount of protein, they're not going to be our main protein source in this meal. That's coming from the turkey mince. But that being said, it is a really good idea to include multiple sources of protein in your meals, because different foods are going to have different amino acid balances, and you're going to create a bit of a better amino acid profile rather than just having one source of protein and that's it. For adding our turkey mince to the pan, season it with some salt, pepper, garam masala. I never really know how to pronounce it, but essentially garam masala is just a spice mix, and it's usually got things like cumin, coriander, cardamom, cinnamon, black pepper, cloves, nutmeg, that kind of spice spice mix. So if you don't have that, then you can just add the individual spices. And then we're adding some cayenne pepper. I like my chili quite spicy. I have quite a high spice tolerance, so you can really add as much or little as you like. And the good thing is, if you want it more spicy, you can always add more like a spicy sauce to your chili afterwards, which is what I also do. Then to really add some richness to the flavor, we're going to put in a chicken stock cube as well. You can dissolve the stock cube in water first, but I prefer to just like crumble it in, because we don't want the chili to end up being too watery at the end. So we're going to keep the heat where it is, but stir it around, get the spices mixed in until the turkey is cooked, and you know it's cooked when it turns brown. We're using lean turkey mince because it's high in protein to support muscle growth and recovery, while also being lower in saturated fat than beef. Now, red meat is not bad by any means. I would gladly have regular beef chili, but my dad's watching his saturated fat intake for his cholesterol, so I think since like we always used to have turkey mince as a family, I just automatically gravitate towards it and don't really think about like choosing beef mince. I don't know, it tastes good anyway. Once the mince is pretty much fully cooked, we're gonna add in some chopped tin tomatoes. And tomatoes are rich in vitamin C, which helps your immune system fight illness, keeps your skin healthy, and they also contain potassium, fun fact, which helps keep your muscles working properly and supports heart health. Then we add our kidney beans for a little bit of plant-based protein and some fiber, mix that together, and then to get the sauce a little bit thicker and just a bit more rich, I was about to say a bit more richer, we're adding some tomato puree. So just stir all that in, get it well combined, and then we're going to leave the whole thing to simmer for about 15 to 20 minutes. Oh yeah, and I also added some peppers. I went to do this when I added the tomato and the beans, but I completely forgot, so I did it around 10 minutes later, but you know, it works. And I just used chopped frozen peppers for convenience, and we've got the different colours in there, so it's going to add a whole range of different micronutrients as well. Okay, so sweet potato fries took 32 minutes. These are looking good. And now we're just going to take them out and leave them to cool. Next, we're going to be making a vegetarian recipe because a lot of you have actually requested this. And as a vegetarian, it is harder to get your protein in because you're not eating meat. Our main source of protein is going to be this super firm organic tofu, and we're going to chop it up, air fry it so it gets nice and crispy, and then we'll add it to our sauce with everything else. I don't know about you, but I think slicing tofu is one of the most satisfying things in the world. Go try it and let me know in the comments. But anyway, you're going to chop it into fairly small cubes, season with salt and pepper, and then pop it in the air fryer at 180 degrees C for around 20 minutes. If you don't have an air fryer, by the way, you can also roast these in the oven at the same temperature for the same amount of time, or you can pan fry it too. This is going to be a creamy, vibrant, plant-based curry packed with flavor, protein, and also micronutrients. Obviously, since it's a Thai green curry, we need some green in it, so we're using broccoli and frozen peas. Dissolve a veggie stock cube in around 150 to 200 ml of boiling water, then add that to a pan on medium heat along with your veggies and allow them to cook through. Once the veggies are almost finished cooking, so not 100% soft yet, we're going to add half a jar of Thai green curry paste and then around 200 ml of light coconut milk. This might sound really silly, but when I was a kid, I used to think that coconut milk was the milk you got out of a coconut. Like if you cracked it open, then you could just drink coconut milk. But it's actually the coconut flesh mixed with the coconut water, which is the liquid that you get out of the coconut, and that is how you make coconut milk. I think it's safe to say I was kind of mind blown when I figured that out as a kid. But coconut milk is really great for people who don't tolerate dairy well. It can help with digestion for those who are sensitive to milk too. And overall, using light coconut milk is a great way to make meals creamy and flavorful while keeping them a little bit lighter in calories than the full fat version. So once you've stirred all that together, your tofu should be ready, so throw that in as well and just give it a good mix. And tofu is one of my favorite plant-based protein sources because it's packed full of protein first of all, and it contains some iron and calcium as well, which can help support muscle and bone health too. That smells so good. Once it's stirred all together, leave it to simmer for about 5 minutes. And by this point, your rice and your sweet potato fries should be fully cooked too, so it is time to put everything together. In an ideal world, I would be using glass meal prep containers. I do prefer those, but I've just not got around to getting any, and I don't really have any space to put them currently. So there's a few moving pieces there. I decided to do 3 portions of the chili and sweet potato fries, and then I would have 1 more portion left of chili, which I could then have with some leftover rice. I guess that's kind of similar to the idea of modular meal prep, which I've shared about in other videos. It's just a bit of a different approach to meal prep that I've seen work really well for some of my coaching clients who don't necessarily want to eat the same meal prep meals every single day of the week. So preparing like your sweet potato fries, some rice, maybe some pasta, or some chicken baked in the oven and then some other chicken fried, or whatever. Like preparing all of the different protein sources, carb sources, and fats differently means that you can combine it with different spices or flavors depending on what you feel like that day. I'll link the video where I go more into that, but there's so many different approaches to your nutrition that can be helpful for different people on their fitness journeys. So if you want more help with this and with your workouts and just getting results in your fitness journey, then you can apply for one-to-one coaching in the description. Another little top tip is to let all of your meal prep cool down fully before putting it in the freezer, because that prevents like extra ice forming on it and just makes it better for when you're defrosting. And then I also like using a whiteboard pen to write on it what the meal prep actually is, so that when I come to looking through the freezer, I actually know what's in all of the boxes. I just got back from the gym, you can probably tell because of the hair, but I want something quick for dinner, something that's high protein, homely, and also ticks the box for micronutrients. So we're gonna make fakeaway chip chop fish. That's a tongue twister now. I'm gonna be using frozen white fish, but take it out of the freezer earlier so it defrosts. Cornflakes, peas, broccoli, an egg, smoked paprika, salt, garlic powder, and pepper. I was gonna make chips the same way that I made the sweet potato fries, but then I realized we didn't actually have any normal potatoes, and I'd already put the sweet potato fries in the freezer, so we're just gonna have to go without. The cornflakes are what's gonna make up most of the coating for our fish, and it's gonna get nice and crispy when we put it in the air fryer, so you're gonna crunch them up into really small, tiny little pieces, then add the spices and mix that all together. Next, you're gonna crack the egg into a bowl. You want it to be a fairly flat bowl, you'll see why in a sec, and then whisk that together well. Now to coat your fish, first you're going to put it in the egg, make sure it's well covered, then you're going to put it straight into the cornflakes. Make sure you rotate it so the coating evenly covers both sides of the fish. Then you're going to pop it in the air fryer at 180 degrees C for around 20 minutes. The leftover egg. Continuing the fakeaway theme, we're going to make a higher protein tartar sauce. So to a cup or bowl, you're going to add some natural yogurt. You can use Greek yogurt as well, salt, pepper, mixed herbs, dill if you've got dill. We didn't have dill. A little bit of lemon juice, and then mix all that together until it's well combined. This is optional, but to finish it off, we're going to add some capers to the top. By now, your veg should be fully cooked, and I wanted to try and get a little bit creative with the plating of this, and inspired by the traditional British mushy peas, I kind of made like this mush of vegetables to sort of act as a base. Yeah, I was kind of cringing at myself when I was mashing all this veg, but trust the process, trust the process. Plating all this up, the fish looked amazing. Then I did a little artistic drizzle of tartar sauce around the outside. I tried to make it artistic at least. I guess we can call it abstract, right? Yeah, let's land on abstract. But the fish really made this dish, and the inside, it was just cooked so perfectly. It made me so happy. Veg is cooked well, the sauce ties it all together, and actually it only took 20 minutes. I'm gonna enjoy this, but I hope you enjoyed the video and found it helpful. If you try any of the recipes, do let me know in the comments and tag me on Instagram at sophiereidfit, because I really love seeing your creations. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any future videos, and if you want some meal prep breakfasts that are high in protein, quick and easy to make, then check out this video next, because I've got you. Love you so much, and I'll see you there. Bye!